I'm starting from where the fire pit's going to be, down at the bottom. So you can see it's not quite all filled in yet, but this is where the fire pit will be. And this is where the reservoir is. So the water all ends up coming down here. This part's not finished yet. This is where I'm working my way down to. And the water will end up disappearing underneath the bridge. So the bridge will be going across here, right across from, right over top of these guys, which so you won't see any of that. It'll be a bridge that goes across like that. Here's the first falls. And I've designed this side to be pools. So they're little pools instead of just a bunch of water falling down. So it's quieter, but kind of nice. Oops. This is the first pool right here. And the rock still has a lot of moss on it, and some of the moss is starting to grow again, which is really nice. There's a bit of a weed growing here, which I'm going to leave. I might get rid of the grass behind it. There's a bit of grass right there, but I think you'll see what happens later. And I've got some aquatics growing, just some irises. And there's pool number 2. So to give you an idea of size, I'll put my shoe in there so you can see the size of it. I'm just going to make my way over there. There's pool 2. And to give you an idea of size, oh, there's a frog. We have a bullfrog. There's my shoe. And there's a bullfrog right there. Little bugger. We'll get rid of him later. But there's pool number 2. And with pool number 2, we have water coming into it straight down through this log. So you can sort of see there's a log there. And the water's coming down right through the log. And it's actually coming from the big falls. So this is the big falls. There's the first step of the big falls. And there's the other step. And then the final step right from the main pond. You can sort of see there's the main pond, and there's all of the water coming down through there. It's not at full speed this morning, but it's a good speed. This is where the sort of the amount that I like. And beside this nice pools, I've got what I call the mountain. So just over to the side here, you can see there's a few steps right through here. And the steps takes you up to the very top, past the big boulders to get to the mountain. I'll just pull back a bit so you can see it. Okay, so here we are. Here's the mountain steps to take you to the very top. And if you make it to the top, then you've got a nice sitting rock that you can look over the pond with, and I'll show you. We'll walk up that way. So here's the steps, so we're going to go up the steps. And again, to give you some idea of size, this rock here is probably 3 feet tall by 5 feet long. Huge. Coming up the steps, we get to the very top, and we have, I'm going to add a little bit more drainage rock in here and river rock because I want it to be above water level, but it's another planting pocket behind this log, and we are at the top pond. So you can see there's the area that we'll be working on today, but you make it all the way up here and you've got a great view of what's going on. There will be some planting going on this back wall, along this back wall here, but I'm not sure what yet, so we'll have to work on that. I'm going to go back to the bottom so you can see the other falls. So coming back down, and we're back to the reservoir, and this time we'll go up the other side. So here we are right at the very beginning again, back at the fire pit area. This log here I got Noah and Jeremy to get for me from Blue Heron Park. It's just so dynamic. So really cool. But instead of going up this way where we went through the pools, we're going to come up this way, and you can see we've got a bit of a pool at the very bottom, but and a stepping stone that will take us up the rocks to go up the mountain. But on this side, I wanted it to look more like a stream, I guess. So what we have is the water shows up and disappears. Oh, there we have Maddie. She's just having a little pee, a morning pee in my garden. But so this time we have more of a stream. So we lose the water from time to time, but I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. So what happens is, you can see the water comes down from here. It comes between these two rocks, and it keeps coming up, and then it's here. It comes between these three rocks here, and it's coming down from this big boulder. So this big boulder that we see here, it's again, to give you perspective, it's probably 3 feet by 4 feet. It's huge. It came from the hole that when I dug the reservoir, so it was inside the hole along with a couple others. But this is the idea. So now the water streams down here, comes from here, and where it's coming from is it's coming right over this log here as it comes down through the stream. I tried to make it look kind of as natural as possible. So this log here goes along with the one that you saw earlier when we sat on the sitting rock, and they sort of have bumped together, and that's where all the water is coming over top now. So then here we are back at the main pond, and on this side of the main pond, I'll just show you where we are. I'm going to show you the house. So there's the house. On this side of the main pond, we have one of the biofilters, and just a quick little falls before it comes into the main pond. And along with that is a huge rock that is a natural bridge. So oh, there's my hoodie I was looking for. Obviously I left it outside last night. But here is a natural bridge that will take you right across to the patio. So now we're bound to the patio, where you can see this little falls. And it's designed to be, I don't know, just a nice little spot. So we'll probably have a sitting area here. We can turn down the falls. Right now it's at 6 out of 10, so we could turn it down if we want to. And I used some moss rock in here as well. And we're going to come around so you can get a feel. This is another piece of driftwood that I found down at Blue Heron Park. I thought it looked really good, kind of submerged like it would in nature. Come around. There's that big log. Jeremy got this with me. That's the first piece of the puzzle we got again from Blue Heron, and it is probably 8 feet long, 10 feet long. And now here we are in the pond, and the lilies are already starting to grow. They made their way up to the surface. They seem to like it. But as I said, it's a little bit murky at the bottom right now. And here is where that big falls was. The main falls were right in here. And to get there, you can see it's a distance. It's probably 14, 15 feet across the pond there. And we'll keep coming around. And there's our special rock. A nice big stepping rock you can get onto. And then here is where we come to the falls that will come from the upstairs, or the upper pond. So here's our sheet falls. Right now the water is at a low level, so it's the pump's at a low level. So you can see it's just a trickle, but it's a nice trickle with the little cave underneath. And we'll make our way up these falls here. There we go. Here's the area. So I tried to make it look kind of kind of a little different than normal. So here we have, it's a double falls. We have a little water off of this one and a little water off of this one. And I've started planting as well so that they start to look kind of nice. So there's two little pools above, which need to be filled in with some river rock. And then it comes down from the main area, splits again into two. And then we're up to the stepping stones, which takes us to the big pond, or not the big pond, but the upper pond, which you already saw a little bit of details on. So here's our upper pond, again with some driftwood, and it's looking pretty good. And here's where the biofalls is up here, and the water comes down into the main pond and then makes its way along. I just started playing with lights, trying to decide what to do with lights, but I'm not quite sure what to do with them yet. And there you go.